I've got dragon fruit here. Dragon fruit. Man, I am so pumped to have found these dragon fruit plants. Super excited. So we've got back safe with my new lovely jubblies, my dragon fruit plants, otherwise known as Pitaya. Dragon fruit is a cactus, and I had a little research online to see if it needed any special requirements. Basically it says it's really easy to care for, especially if you live in warmer climates like I do. They'll be able to be outside all year around. Maybe on them extreme hot August days, maybe I can try and give it a bit more shade. I'll just see how they do. If you live in cold climates, I don't know, like England or whatnot, maybe you can keep them out in summer, bring them into your conservatory or greenhouse in winter. So we're going to plant them up in this. Because the cactuses, we want to ensure that they've got great drainage. We're going to do the same what we did for our blueberry plants and line the bottom about that deep of stones. That'll ensure that the drainage hole doesn't get clogged up and water can freely escape and drain off. We don't want our cactus sitting in water. You don't want to be using plates at the bottom to catch the water. So you want to make sure that the water can escape as easy as possible. We're going to be using a sandy loam. Got it from the garden centre today. I got a couple of bags. And that's just basically like a nice sandy garden soil. And I'm going to add some perlite in there as well. And I'll just throw this last bag of compost in. I think it'll make a really nice mix. So we're going to do that. At a later date, I might even paint these pots white. I hate dark pots. They just get so hot. And generally plants don't like hot roots, man. So maybe we'll paint this up at a later date in white. White pots are my favourite, man. They really keep the roots a lot more cool. I did it for the blueberries. It was amazing. I put my finger in when the pots were brown and the soil was boiling. After I painted them up nice and white, put your finger in the soil and it's nice and cool, man. It's amazing just what the colour of your pot can do. So let's get these planted up. Gave the stones a quick rinse. They were full of stone dust and whatnot. Get it out of my mix, don't want it there. Quick rinse, nice and clean. Now we're going to get the soil in there and get them planted up. Let's just sit that in there. Perfect. One thing to remember, that dragon fruit is a vining plant, so you need something to support its growth. It's a little bit off centre. Oof. I hate stuff like that. That makes my eyeballs itch. But what is done is done. What is done is done. So when you're lining it up, you can just push it to one side, make like a kind of a wedge, and then pack it down so it pushes it nice and straight, and we're done. Beautiful, very nice, beautiful. One done. I'd be inclined to put maybe some volcanic rocks on the top. I like to put stuff normally on the top. The only problem is that I find it hard to be able to monitor the soil. Is it dry? Is it in need of a watering? So I think I'm just going to leave it open, and that way I'll be able to tell when should I water it. They say for dragon fruits and cactuses, I suppose in general, you don't want to overwater. You'll kill the plant giving it too much water. Ideally you want to wait for the top of the soil to be dry, and then just give it a little tiny bit. What works really good is if you've got a drip feed system, just a few drips every day. I actually have that set up, so I think maybe I'll do that. I'll see how it goes, you know. So there, we finished. I'm going to give this a bit of water now, just moisten the soil up a little bit, and then I'll let it dry out. They say regarding watering with cactuses, treat it as a cactus. Don't overwater it. You can kill your cactus by over watering. So you want to wait ideally for the topsoil to dry out a little bit before you give it a little bit of water, and just regular and little. If you've got a drip feed handy, get it plugged up to that system, and a little bit of dripping every day will just probably be enough, depending on your climate and your weather and so on. Obviously in summer your soil dries a lot quicker, so you need to up the water content. So anyway, can't wait to get some dragon fruit, man, and I'll bring you along on that video. As soon as the dragon fruit appears on this, I'll make sure to bring you along for the adventure. If you've enjoyed this video, if it's been a little bit useful, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I've got a few more things coming out soon, really awesome insecticide for aphids, and a few other little videos planned, but I'm really busy with other things as well, so I find it hard to put so much time into the channel. But if you're happy to sit around and have a video come out whenever I feel like it, then make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Thanks very much for watching. So we've got back safely with my... So we've got back